with the Visha and Upavisha. So in this chapter, we will learn about the introductory aspects and general aspects of Visha, the classification of Visha Dravyas, Mahavisha, Upavisha. We will be learning each and every Mahavisha and Upavisha in detail. In those details, these informations will be covered. That is the general description of each Upavisha or Mahavisha, each drug. And I won't be going deep into the botanical description of the drugs. I'll be teaching some general description, brief description of the botany and the botanical aspects. And the classification, if at all it is having any types which is mentioned in the classical literature, that will be covered, and Shodhana, dose, and therapeutic properties and formulations. So first, we will start with the Nirukti of Visha. So in the classical text, we would find that Jagad Vishannam tam drishtva tena aso vishamuchade. So that which causes vishnatva, or that which causes some kind of sadness or distress to the body, that those drugs are known as visha. Those drugs are called as visha. And the substances which causes toxicological actions, toxic effects in the body is known as visha. So the substance which causes illness or death in the body is known as visha. Um, and these are the synonyms of visha: Shveda, Garala, and Kalapudha. And coming to the properties of Visha, in Charaka Samhita, Acharya Charaka have explained 10 gunas of Visha. So Visha is Laghu, Ruksha, Ashukari, Vishada, Yavai, Tikshna, Vikashi, Sukshma, Ushna, and Anirdishya Rasa. Visha is not having a peculiar taste. So that is the Anirdishya Rasa. So these are the 10 properties of Visha. So coming to the Visha Dravyas, so we have learned about Maharasa, Uparasa, Sadhana Rasa, Loha, Dhadus, etc. in the Rasa Shastra while learning each and every subject. So we have learned many drugs under these topics, which are also considered as Visha, because those are also consumed after processing, after Shodhana and Marana. So those are also having toxicological effects if it is not administered properly, or if it is not consumed properly, if it is not administered in a optimum dose. So those are also Vishadrivya, but those are Parthiva Drivyas. In Visha Upavisha chapter, in Visha Upavishadi Vijnaniya Taranga of Rasta Tarangani, deals with the poisonous herbal drugs. The rest of the poisonous drugs, that is Dhadu Vishas, are covered in the other chapters. The poisonous herbal drugs are covered in the 24th Taranga of Rasa Tarangani. And among all the Acharyas have also considered, dealt or explained the poisonous herbal drugs in the Visha Upavishadi Adhyayam. So if at all Visha or Upavisha, Visha as a topic asks for a 10-mark question, you can also write 1 or 2 paragraphs of general kinds of Visha, the process, the Shodhana, significance of Shodhana of the Maharasa, Uparasadi, Varga that we learned in the previous classes. Okay, so in this chapter, in this class, I will be teaching, or in this chapter also, Acharya Sadananda Sharma have explained the poisonous herbal drugs. Okay, so as a concept, Visha, everything will come under Visha. Okay, everything will have a poisonous or toxic impact on the body if it is not administered properly. But as a Visha Upavishadi Vijnaniya Tarangam, the poisonous herbal drugs are covered. Okay, so coming to the classification. So in according to Charaka and Sushruta, they have classified Visha into 3. That is Thavara, Jangama, and Samyogaja. Savara is a plant origin. The Vishas or herbal poisonous drugs, which are having 10 adhishtanas. And Jangama is the animal Visha. So the animal origin. So that is Jangama. So 60 adhishtanas are mentioned for Jangama Visha. And for Samyogaja, it is the artificial classified into 2, that is Gara and Krutrima. And coming to Ashtanga Hridaya, they have classified Visha into, they have broadly classified Visha into two. That is Akritrima and Kritrima. Akritrima is the natural. So the broad classification will fall into natural as well as the artificial Visha, artificial poisonous drugs. So Akritrima will be the Stavara and Jangama. Okay. And Kritrima is the Garavisha. Okay. Garavisha is the chronic poison. Okay, so this is the classification according to Brihatrayis. According to Rasa Tarangani in Visha Ubhavishadi Vijnani Taranga, Acharya has explained or broadly classified into two, that is Stavara Visha and Jangama Visha. That is same as that of Brihatrayis. So Stavara is the Ghani Aushadhashrayam. So Stavara is a Ghani as well as Aushadhashrayam. Ghani Ashrayam is the Dhatu Lohadi, and Aushadhi Ashrayam is the Vatsanavi, etc. And Jangama is the only one Jangama Visha is explained in Rasadarangani, that is Krishna Sarpa Visha. Based on toxicity, Visha is again divided into two, that is Mahavisha and Upavisha. The Mahavisha, which is having a more toxic effects in the body, that is considered as Mahavisha, and the Visha which is having lower potency, that is that comes under Upavisha. Okay. In Mahavisha, the number of Mahavisha and Upavisha, that is the next thing. So in Mahavisha, 9 Mahavishas have explained. So those are Halahala, Kalakudha, Shringadaga, Pratipana, Saurashtrikam, Brahmaputra, Haridra, Shaktuga, and Vatsanavi. So only Vatsanavi is explained by almost all the acharyas, detail, because rest of the Mahavishas have not been practically used nowadays. So that is why Vatsanavi is only explained here. Okay. Coming to Upavisha number, Upavisha, 11 types of Upavisha have explained. That is Vishatinduka, Ahipena, Jayapala, Dattura, Vijaya, Gunja, Bhalladaga, Karavira, Langali, Arkakshira, Snuhikshira. These are the Upavishas, 11 Upavishas, which is explained by Acharya Sadananda Sharma. Coming to the modern classification of Visha. So modern classification based on the exposure, the method of exposure, or the time of period of exposure, it is again classified into two, that is chronic exposure as well as acute exposure, or rather acute exposure and chronic exposure. Acute exposure is the sudden onset of the symptoms. When as soon as the person or the skin comes in contact with the Visha, or the person comes in contact with the Visha, immediately the signs, the person exhibits the symptoms of toxicity immediately. That is acute poisoning. Chronic poisoning is a long-term or repeated or continuous exposure that causes a long-term chronic exposure. So the patient gradually becomes ill. Patient will not show the toxic symptoms immediately. So that is a example we can say mercury poisoning, and all the metallic poisoning is a chronic poisoning. But when it comes to Vatsanavi, the aconitum, ferox, as well as thallium, and cyanide, these are all acute poisoning. So the sudden reaction happens, sudden immediate response to the poison occurs. So that is, the period is also short term, like the exposure and the exhibiting the symptoms will be, the duration will be less. Okay, so that is chronic as well as acute poisoning according to modern literature. Next is 6 Visha Avacharana Vidhis have explained by Acharya Madhava in Ayurveda Prakasha. That is the factors which is common for all the Visha. Factors which can be applied to all the Vishas. So Sarva Visha Matra is Yavashtaga or Tila Matra. So we can administer every Vishas in a Tila Matra or Yavashtaga Matra. Sarva Visha Prati Visha is considered as Panna, and Sarva Visha Shodhana is we can do the purification for every herbal visha. We can purify with the process Gomutra Stabana for 3 days. The detailed process will be I will tell you the detailed process in the Vatsanavi Shodhana. Vatsanavi Shodhana, the main Shodhana process is Gomutra Stabana for 3 days. So that procedure can be applied to every other vishas. And Sarva Visha Marana is a Tangana. By using Tangana, we can do Sarva Visha Marana. And the Sarva Visha Samrakshana is done by Rekta Sarshaba Taila. So the Visha which is covered with a cloth and which is dipped in a Rekta Sarshaba Taila, the potency of the Visha stays for a longer period. So that is the concept of Visha Samrakshana. The potency can be sustained for a longer period. Okay. Vishadravya Prayoga is in which condition? Vishadravya is to be used in all Vata Rekta condition, Vata Kapha condition, Visha can be administered. Visha means Shodhita Visha can be administered. So Vata and Kapha, the Vishadravya properties are Ashu, Ushna, Tishna, Vyavai, Vikashi. All those properties are just opposite to the Vata and Kapha attributes. So Visha will work better or best in Vata Kapha condition than Pitta Rekta condition. In fact, Pitta Rekta condition is contraindicated when it comes to Visha administration. Okay. Next, the first and the only one Visha, Vishadravya, which is explained in the Mahavisha, is Vatsanavi. So it is the only Visha that we are practically using nowadays. Okay, and Vatsanavi is having much importance in this Shastra. Even when you look up to the syllabus, you can see that almost 25 or more formulations are there in which Ghalviya Rasayana, Ghalviya formulations are there in which Vatsanavi is used as an ingredient. So Vatsanavi is having a lot of importance, and the Shodhana, the procedure, the dose is you should know, you should learn about these things thoroughly, especially the dose. So introduction. Vatsanavi is commonly seen in Himalaya region, endemic to Himalayas, and the botanical name is Aconitum ferox, and it is also known as Indian aconite. Commonly, it is called as Himalayan or monk's foot, and it is one of the most virulent vegetable poison, herbal poison. Okay. Ferox itself, the term itself means that it is ferocious. So that indicates the potency or the virulent toxicity of the herbal of the drug. Okay. You can see in the right side, you can see the picture of Vatsanavi. That is the Vatsanavi. And Acharya Charaka have included the Vatsanavi in Stavara Visha, and Sushruta explained Vatsanavi among the 13 varieties of Kanda Vishas. So it is a Kanda Visha also, though it is a Mula is used, it is a tuberous fruit. So Kanda Visha, and first internal administration as a part of Prativisha is explained by Vakbada in Ashtanga Hridaya. Okay, so this is a classical reference of Vatsanavi in a brief, it is a very brief classical reference of Vatsanavi. Okay, coming to APA monograph. So in APA, you can see that the botanical description of Vatsanavi is taken as not as Aconitum ferox, it is taken as Aconitum chasmandum staff X forms. So that is the botanical description of Vatsanavi in APA. And family is Ranunculaceae, and the useful part is dried root. And the occurrence is, we can see the occurrence of Vatsanavi in the subalpine and alpine zones of Western Himalaya. And the collection, the time of collection is late in September. In classical reference, it is mentioned as Shida Samaye and Vasandande. So in API, it is mentioned as September, late September is the best time for the collection of Vatsanavi. And synonyms, Vatsanavi has synonym of Amra, Visha. Visha itself is a synonym for Vatsanavi. in many of the references, many of the formulations, like in Shwasagudara Rasa, it is mentioned as Rasam Gandham Visham Cheva Tanganam Cha Manashila. So in Visha, that Visha is Vatsanabi. So Vatsanabi itself is having a synonym of Visha. So in many formulations, you can see that Visha instead of Vatsanabi, almost in all the formula, almost in majority of the situations, Vatsanabi is termed, in the formulation is termed as Visha itself. So Gundha Visham Cheva Tanganam Cha Manashila. So those kind of preference you can see in the formulation. So Amra, Visha and Vajra Naga. Stavara Visha and Vatsanaga is also a synonym of Vasanagi. Constituents. Constituents alkaloids is aconite. Aconite, pseudoaconite, aconite, these are the constituents. And cause of death. Cause of death is death due to asphyxiation and cardiac arrest. This is the cause of death. And you can see if the Vatsanavi which is used in the any of the formulations is not properly purified, you can actually observe in the patients severe distress in the severe breathing difficulty. That is the one symptom that the patient shows. So death due to asphyxiation and cardiac arrest. So it is very important to do the Shodhana process of Vatsanavi in a proper way. Okay. Rasa Panjaga, Rasa is Madhura, Guna is Vigashi, Vyavahi, and Yogavahi. Veera Ushna, Vibhaga Madhura, Karma, Rasayana, and Tridoshahara. And dose is 15 to 13 mg of drug in powder form. This is a dose of dose according to API, Ayurvedic Pharmacopoeia of India. So in this 15 to 30 mg in powder form, mg in powder form. Okay. Next, the leaves resembles that of Nirgundi. These are the flowers of Sanabi, which are having blue flowers and grows up to 2 hastas. Occurrence in Kashmir and Nepal region. This is the brief description according to Rangadi. And why it is called as Vatsanabhi. So Vatsanabhi. This is having a two part. The term having a have two parts. That is Vatsa as well as Nabhi. Nabhi means umbilical cord, as you know, and Vatsa means the baby cow. That is cow. So since it resembles like the umbilical cord of a calf, it is termed as Vatsa Nabhi. Okay. In collection during the time Shida Samaya or Vasanta Ritu. Okay. Classification. Vatsanabi is classified according to the color. Though we cannot find these variants nowadays, but according to the color, it is divided into 4. That is white, red, yellow, and black colored. So, since it was mentioned in the earlier times, it was given the names as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. And Brahmana is of course white and with the hairs and used in diseases. And Kshatriya is red, of course, and given to a patient who is swallowed some poison. I mean, mild toxicity. In mild toxicity, this red variety can be given. And Vaishya, that is yellow in colored, which is used in which is also used in minor toxic conditions. And Shudra, it is a black variety, and it is applied in the snake bite condition. Okay. Next classification is by Rasa Tarangani, that is 3 types, that is Krishnava, Kabisha, and Pandu, which is also based on the color. So among them, Kabisha and Pandu are having therapeutically used. Krishnava is not used therapeutically. And why Shodhana is done to Vatsanabi. So we know that without Shodhana, if the Vatsanabi is administered to a patient, the patient develops Daha, Moha, Krit, Gadi, Rodhanam, and Mrityu. Even death can happen. And we know Vatsanabi and homicidal poison. Vatsanabi as well as Thallium is a perfect homicidal poison. So, Krit, Gadi, Rodhanam, and Mrityu. Mrityu also can occur. And Krit, Gadi, Rodhanam is asphyxiation, death due to asphyxiation and cardiac arrest. And coming to Shodhana aspect. So the first and the important Shodhana is a Gomutra Stabhana of Vatsanavi. Second one is Dola Yendra Swedana. And there is a research paper, there is a lot of research papers which related to Vatsanavi Shodhana, but I will tell you about this research paper after explaining the Shodhana procedure. Okay, so Gomutra Stabhana, that is the first method. So in the Gomutra Stabhana, you can see that Cut the dried roots of Vatsanavi into small pieces of chanaga size. Chanaga means shana size. That is almost 3 grams. Chana size, and spread the pieces into in a tray. In a tray, broad tray, we have to put the pieces. Spread the pieces and pour freshly collected gomutra into the tray in such a way that the pieces immerses in the gomutra completely, and place the tray in the place where the tray is exposed to the maximum sun rays. So that is the process of Gomutra Stabana, halfway process. So cut the pieces, put in a tray, and pour the freshly collected Gomutra and pour Gomutra into the tray, and place the tray under the sunlight. So that is the process. And whenever the Gomutra evaporates, we have to refill it with the freshly collected Gomutra again. So we have to do it for 3 days continuously. And after 3 days, we have to take the pieces and wash it with several times with the hot water, lukewarm water, and peel off the external um, skin of the tuberous fruit, and we have to spread it for drying purpose. And after it is completely dried, we have to collect it and grind it and powder it, and store it in an airtight container. So that is the Gomutra Stabana method. Okay, it is Stabana. It is the Vatsanabi is immersed in the Gomutra. So that is the process which can be done to every other Visha. So this is the Samanya Shodhana of Visha, Gomutra Stabana. Okay. Next Shodhana procedure is Dholayandra Svedana, that is cut the dried roots of Vatsanavi in small pieces. The same procedure, Chanaga sized pieces, we have to cut out from the root, and take the freshly collected cow's milk in the dolayandra, and suspend tie the pieces, Vatsanavi pieces, into a pottery, and suspend the pieces in the suspend the pottery in the milk which is taken in the dolayandra. And you have to heat it, boil it for 1 to 2 yama. That is, 1 yama is 3 hours. So 3 hours to 6 hours is the duration of the boiling duration. And after that, when the boiling is completed, open the pottery, take out the pieces and peel off the skin of Vatsanava, and wash it with hot water, and keep it for drying. And after it is completely dried, it is to be taken out and uh, powder it and store it in an aerated container. So you can see that I have given a picture of Dola Yandra. So in that, the liquid medium is a cow's milk, and you can also do this method with the goat's milk also. Aja Dugdha Vidhi is also mentioned by Rasatarangani. Okay. So the liquid medium is a cow's milk, and in the pottery, the suspended pottery contains Vatsanami. So that is the Dola Yandra Svedana Vidhi. Clear? Okay. Then, actually, you can, there is an alternative method for Gomutra Stabana, which is I found in an article. That is, the roots of Iconitum ferox were cut into pieces, and in that article, it is mentioned as pea-sized pieces. Pea-sized pieces, and kept immersed in a cow's urine for 8 days. 8 consecutive days, and the cow's urine is changed. Each day the cow's urine is changed, and on the 8th day the cow's urine is not changed, and the earthen pot is kept under sunlight. Then it was washed with the cold water, and the upper layer was taken out, the skin is taken out, and was again washed with the warm water. The pieces were dried immediately by exposing them to sunlight. That is, we have to spread it and keep it under the sunlight. Okay, the dried pieces were grinded to get the powder form. So, in the reference, it is mentioned as 3 days, but you can go up to 7 days or 8 days. Okay, so that is an alternative method for Gomutra Stabana itself. Dolayandra Svedana, you can do Dolayandra Svedana in cow's milk as well as Ajadutta. Okay. Next is the Vatsanavi, Shodhita Vatsanavi properties. That is Yogavahi Param, Mahautkashtam, as well as Rasayanam. Ridoshakinam, Aku, Vrishiga, Sarpa Vishaharam, Deebanam, Shita Shamanam, Brahmanam, Balavardhanam, Agni Manya Prashamanam, Plihodara, Shwasa Kasa Vidhunanam, Budamayaharam, Grahani, Gulma, Kushtaharam, Panduharam, Jwaraharam, Amavada Prashamanam, Timira, Nishandida. All the Urdi Rogas are mentioned here. Vatsanavi is having a lot of rasayana effects. Shodhita Vatsanavi. Okay. Dose is 1 by 60 into 1 by 8 Reti. It's the dose of Vatsanavi. Contraindication. There are some contraindications to Vatsanavi administration. That is Bala, Vritta, Garbhani, Rogini. Those people has to be, administering Vatsanavi has to be avoided. And Adikshena Gatra, extremely emaciated or extremely Daurbalya patients. And Hriddaurbalya also, cardiac disease condition also. Okay. Next, I have mentioned a study the title of the study was Evaluation of Toxicity of Vatsanavi before and after Shodhana process. So they have evaluated, they have actually done the process. They have actually they have compared with the Vatsanavi without Shodhana as well as with after Shodhana, and in that study, that is actually an interesting study which is done by, they have actually prepared an artificial cow's urine in the lab itself. So by adding the urea and all, they have prepared a cow's urine sample and they have done the Shodhana in that also. So they have compared with the three samples, that is without Shodhana, Shodhana in Gomutra, that is Ayurvedic classical Shodhana, and the third Shodhana type is in the chemically prepared Gomutra, chemically prepared cow's urine sample. So they wanted to check whether it is feasible or whether it is as good as that of natural Gomutra, so that it won't be difficult to get. We can easily prepare in lab itself, the chemically prepared sample. So all the disadvantages, like it is very difficult to get the Gomutra if it is not. Uh, the procurement is difficult. So to avoid all those things, you can actually prepare the cow's urine in the lab itself. So they have actually done the research work, and it was found that it was not good as that of natural Gomutra. So they have opined that to go with the classical preparatory method. So in that one, they have actually uh, extracted the active principles through chloroform, and they have studied the TLC. And in that, the extracts were further evaluated by TLC, that Thiele chromatography study, to identify the changes that might have happened after the Shodhana and before the Shodhana. So they have find out that pseudoaconitine as well as the aconitin were converted. Those were the toxic principles which are present in the Vatsanavi. Those were converted into less toxic substances, that is veratroyl pseudoaconine and benzoyl aconine, respectively, in the Ayurvedic sample only. In the Ayurvedic method, after the Ayurvedic, the classical preparatory method, the most poisonous ones have altered the poisonous effect and become less poisonous substances. That is, pseudoaconitine as well as aconitin is converted into veratroyl pseudoaconine as well as benzoyl aconine. So that were the finding in that study. And the study has further studies also, like experimental study. It has done in vivo study with the animal study to check the toxicity also. So you have to go and read the paper I have included in the notebook. Okay. So coming to the preparations, various preparations of various formulations of Vatsanavi. That is, first one is Mrityunjaya Rasa. The ingredients are Shodhita Vatsanavi, Hingula, and the Shodhita Vatsanavi and Hingula is titrated with Ardraga Swarasa for 3 days, and then we have to add the following drugs in equal quantity: Pipali Churna, Gandaga, and Tangana, and Marija Churna. And Bhavana is again done with the Ardraga Swarasa for 3 consecutive days, and it is triturated until we get a pill rolling consistency. So after that, it is rolled into the dose of 1/4 to half rati. Indication is Mrityunjaya Rasam, it is Vada Jwaram, mainly indicated in Jwara condition, Huvusa Shodha, Pravahiga, Vividha Jwara, Atmana, and Ajirna. So this is Mrityunjaya Rasa. Hinguleshwara Rasa, ingredients Tulyamsham Mardhiye Dhalve, Pippali Hingulam Visham. So in that also Visha is a term indicator for Vatsanavi. So Tulyamsham, equal quantity, Shodhita Vatsanava, Hingula and Pippali Churna taken, and water is the trichurating livigation medium. Livigation is is a term used for the trituration itself. So livigation or trituration, you can use both the words, both the terms. So dose is half gunja. Indication Vada Jura as well as Amavata. And Panchamrita Rasa in the ingredients Shodhita Vasanabhi Churna, Kajali and Marija Tangana. Bhavana is again with the water is mentioned as liquid medium. Pantati dosage indication Jwara, Adisara, Jalodara, Shirashula, Peenasa, Galagraha, Nasa Roga, Kandha Roga, and Kabhaja Roga. This is Panchamrita Rasa. Shivatanta Varasa, it is indicated for Sannipada Jachvara. The ingredients include Kajali, Haritala, Marija, Rasa Sindura also. In this Rasa Sindura also added apart from Kajali and Shuddha Vasnavi Chona. And Marija is the is added in 4 part. And Bhavana is with the Ardhaga Swarasa. Dose is 1 Rati and indicated for Sannipada Jachvara. And Ananda Bhairava Rasa, it is included in the Mrityunjaya Rasa and Ananda Bhairava Rasa. You have in to study for in the syllabus also you have Ananda Bhairava Rasa and Mrityunjaya Rasa. And these were the formulations explained in Rasa Tarangani. So that is why I am covering those parts also. And in the entrance point of view also, it is very important to learn all these formulations, their Bhavana Drivya, dose, and especially indication and Bhavana Drivya. Ananda Bhairava Rasa, Shodhita Hingula, Vatsanavi, Tangana, Pippali, and Marija. Bhavana is done with water. Half Rati Matra is administered to Pravaiga, Puya Meha, and Jwara Adisara condition. Next is Jayavadi. Jayavadi, Nimbat Churnam is added, Musta, Jayandi Mula, Vidanga, Trigadu, and Nisha. Every drug, all the ingredients are herbal drugs, and this is triturated with water itself and 2 gunja matra. Indications Prameha, Pandu, Nava, Jwara, and Dektapitta. And Kabakidu Rasa, it is included in syllabus. So ingredients, you have to take every ingredient in equal part. Shuddha Vasanabi, Pippali Churna, Shanga, Basma, and Tangana. So Bhavana is Ardhaga Swarasa, and we have to titrate it until we get a pill rolling consistency. And dose is half gunja. Indications Pradishyaya, Karna Roga, Shwasa, Pratamanga. And last one is Vatsanabi Rasayanam. So Vatsanabi Rasayanam, a lot of ingredients are there. Rasasinduram, Shuddha Hingulam, Rajada Basmam, Tamra Basmam, Shundi Churnam, Marija Churnam, Pippali Churnam, Twak Churnam, Ela Churnam, Tejapatra Churnam, Nagakesara Churnam, and Chitraga Mula Churnam. So Bhavana, every drug is taken and powdered, and Bhavana is done with water, and 2 Rati dose rolled into pill of size 2 Rati. It is when it is administered for 2 months, it is indicated that Dirgha Drishti and Dirgha Kaya. So a healthy aging as well as healthy old age and healthy living, healthy body also can be attained by the administration of Vatsanavi Rasayana. Okay. So that is all about Vatsanavi. You have to learn the Vatsanavi main basic botanical description, botanical aspects, the botanical name, family, and those are the things you need to know in the Rasa Shastra point of view. And you need to learn the Shodhana. That is very, very important. Shodhana procedure, every Shodhana procedure, and dose. That is also important. And some of the Mrityunjaya Rasam, Ananda Bhairava Rasam, and Kabaketu Rasam, like very commonly available, very commonly therapeutically administered formulations also. So dose, formulations, and brief botanical description, as well as the Shodhana. Shodhana is the one you have to learn thoroughly. Okay, so that is all about Vasanadi. Coming to Upavishas. So now we will learn Upavishas, 11 Upavishas in detail. The first one is Vishatindugam. Vishatindugam, it is Kubilu. The English name is, the commonly known name is poison nut, Nux vomica, Quaker nut. Latin name Strychnus nux vomica, family is Loganaceae. We know that seed is poisonous. Seed is considered as a Upavisha and found in Bengal and Bengal region and other southern parts of India. Chemical constituent, and its synonyms Kujelaga, Kujela, Kujila, Hindu Sindhugam, Karaskaram, Remyabhala, Kupaga, Vishamushti, Kalakuda. These are the synonyms. Kuchela, Kupilu, all those are synonyms. Chemical constituents. So strychnine. So you can see that in the right side, this is the Kupilu or Kuchela, Vishatinduga seeds. So strychnine grows in monoterpenoid, glycoside, alpha beta coleoprin, and vomicin. These are the chemical constituents of Kupilu. And coming to Shodhana, Kanjika Sthabanam. 3 methods are explained. Kanjiga Sthabana method, Grida Bharjana method, and Dola Yendra Swedana. So Sthabana, Bharjana, and Swedana. So in the most of the time we use a combination of a Sthabana as well as Dola Yendra Swedana. So Bharjana we do not do that much in practically. We don't do Bharjana as much as that of Kanjiga Sthabana and Dolayendra Swedana. Okay. In Kanjiga Sthabana method, as the term indicates, it is the Kubilu seeds are immersed in the Kanjiga. That is the process. That is a simplest way of explaining the Kanjiga Sthabana. The Kubilu seeds are collected and immersed in the Kanjiga. For how many times? How many days? So that is 3 days. On the 4th day, you have to remove the testa. You have to cut it, and you can find that there is a testa. You can see in the picture also there is a testa which is having a which is the center portion. It have marked EM. That is a testa. So it will be having a dark green color. Greenish black color. After the Shodhana, you can see that it is a greenish black colored thing. So you have to remove the testa and wash with hot water again. And you have to keep it for drying. And after drying, you have to powder it and store it in a airtight container. So this is the Kanjiga Sthabana method. Sthabana for 3 days. After 3 days, 4th day, take out the seeds, remove the testa, wash it and dry it. So that is the Kanjiga Sthabana. Dolayendra Swedana method, tie the Kubilu seeds in a pottery, and freshly collected cow's milk is the liquid medium. So you have to pour the cow's milk in the Dolayendra. The bottle is now suspended or immersed in the milk in the Dolayendra. Heat it for Mandagni for 1 yama, 3 hours, and remove the testa, wash it with hot water, and store it in an airtight container. So you can see that Dolayendra Swedana is actually Dolayendra Swedana can be completed within 1 day. But Sthabana method you have to wait for 3 days. So if it is you have to purify the Kanjiga in a better more faster way. You can select, or you can go for Dolayendra Swedana method. Okay. And Grida Bharjana method, that is an iron kataha or iron pan is taken, add a little amount of ghee. So the ghee, amount of ghee should be sufficient to fry the seeds. So Kubilu seeds are added and fry the seeds until Kapisha Varna or brown color is attained. Okay, so Kanjiga Sthabana, Dolayendra Swedana, and Grida Bharjana method. These are the 3 methods of Kubilu Shodhana. Next is the dose. Dose is an important aspect. So the dose is 1/4 to 1/3. 1/4 to 1/3. 31 milligrams to 125 milligrams, up to 125 milligrams you can administer. Okay. Shodhita Kubilu properties Kamo Deepanam, Amla Pitta Prashamanam, Kadu Deepana, and Nadi Bala Vivardhana. So Kubilu, it is good for Nadi Bala Vivardhana also. In all the Vada conditions, Vada Vigaras are also Kubilu is good. And coming to the formulations. So first formulation is Nava Jivana Rasa. The ingredients are Kubili Churna, Loha Basma, Rasa Sindura, Shundi Churna, Mariti Churna, and Pipali Churna. Every ingredients are taken in an equal quantity, and Bhavana is done in Andraga Surasa, and it is rolled into pill size of 130. And it is indicated for Andhra Shulahara, Admana, Malabanda, Ekta Sanjanana. So Nava Jivana Rasa. Ardraga Surasa is the Bhavana drug, Bhavana medium. Agni Tundivadi, it is ingredients, a lot of ingredients are there. Bhavana is done done with Jambira Swarasa, that is lemon extract, and 1 with the dose indicated for Agni Tundivadi. As the name indicates, it is Agni Manya, and Nadi, it is also for Nadi Prabalana. And Lakshmi Vilasarasa. So it is very therapeutically used formulation. Lakshmi Vilasarasa. So Kubilu Churna, Tangana, Marija, Loha Basma, Gandhaga, Parada. That is Kajali. Bhavana is done with the Ardraga Surasa, Shadavari Swarasa, Bhumi Amalagi Swarasa, and Brangaraja Swarasa. 130 dose you can administer to Lavanya Vardhana, Deha Pushtigara, Vannimanya Prashamana. Okay. Next is Shula Nirmulana Dasa. So as the name indicates, it is mentioned for Shula. All the Paranama Shula and Amla Pitta Shula, etc. So Ardraga Swarasa is the Bhavana drug, and 130 is the dose. So in this Kupilu is added half the quantity of rest of the ingredients. So if the rest of the ingredients are taken in one part, Kupilu has to be added in half of the ingredients. Suptavadadi Rasa. So it is indicated for Suptavada, 2 Gunja dosage form, and it is having Kupilu Churna, Kajjali, and Trigadu as ingredients. Bhavana is done in Nirgundi Swarasa, Brahma Bija or Palasha Mula Swarasa. Palasha Bija Kashaya. Okay, you have to do the Bhavana, 7 Bhavanas in each liquid medium. Tarameya Vishahara Lepa. So, Sarame Vishahara Agada. So, that is Shuddha Kubilu Churna, means dose is not mentioned, but you can go with the universal dose, that is 1/4 to 130 dose, and with the suitable Anubana, you can given to Kukura Visha, that is dog bite conditions, for 1 month. So, Shuddha Kubilu Churna is used. So, this is an extra entrance point of view. It is an important question. Saramaya Vishahara, which Ubhavisha is used, for which Ubhavisha is having a Saramaya Vishahara action. And Vishadinduga Taila, ingredients Kubilu Bija, 1 tola, Tila Taila, 8 tola, Jala 4 times that of Taila. External application is indicated for Pakshagala condition. So that is the reason it is mentioned for Nadi Prabalana or Nadi Balavardhana. It is Vishadinduga Taila means good for Abhyanga in a Pakshagala condition. Okay. Next, so that is all about Vishadinduga or Kupilu, Kujela, Strictness, Next Vomica, Loganaceae family. Okay, so that is Kupilu. 3 Shodhana process, Kanjiga Stabana, Vrida Bharjana, Godukta Svedana, Lola Yendra Svedana. Coming to Ahifena. English name is opium poppy, sleep bringing poppy. Latin name Papaver somniferum. Family Papaveraceae. Useful part is milky exudate from the incised part of the fruit, that is Phala Chiranad. You can see in the right side, you can see the milky exudate from the Phala. And synonyms Aphenum, Afugam, Niphenum, Honeyphenum, and Nagaphenum. Chemical constituents thebaine, phelandrine alkaloids, heroin, morphine, apomorphine, codeine, narcotin, nascopine, and papaverin. The Shodhana is explained as Nityasa Nirmaligaranam. So, Phala Chiranat. So it is the milky. Okay, Ahipena, the Upavisha is a milky exudate of the phala. So that is known as Nidyasa. So the Shodhana of Ahipena is termed as Nidyasa Nirmaligarana. So that is done by the collected Nidyasa is mixed with water. Equal quantity of water. You can take equal quantity of water and dilute. And again it has to be filtered. And this filtered liquid has to be mixed with the equal quantity of cow's milk. And after that, the pot is kept on stove and heated until the water and milk solution is evaporated. And after that, the powder which is collected, which is dried at the bottom of the vessel, is collected and it is used as a Shuddha Ahipena. And there is also another method. Bhavana method is also mentioned for Ahipena Shodhana, that is Bhavana in Ardhaka Swarasa for 7 or 21 times. This is the picture of the flower of the Ahipena. You can see the clearly see the milky exudate which comes out of the fruit of Ahipena. Okay, and dose is 1/4 to 1/30 is the dose. Contraindication. There are some contraindications for Ahipena, that is Bala and Vruddha, Madhumeha Pedida, Ishujika condition, Shida Pada Kara condition, and Kabhaja Kasa and Vrikka Shofa. These conditions you have to avoid administering Ahipena. And properties of Ahipena, which is Tikta, Nidra Janaka Muttamam, Vedana Nivaranam, Purana as well as Nava Adisara Shamanam, Madhyapanota Shokam, and Andrika Prana with the loose stools. In loose stools, in these conditions, you can give Shodhita Ahipena. So these are the formulations of Ahipena, that is Vedanandaka Rasam, which is having Ghanasara, Rasasindura as ingredients along with Ahipena. Bhavana is done with Vijaya Patraswarasam. So cannabis sativa, Vijaya Patraswarasam is taken for the Bhavana of Vedanandaka Rasam. Vijaya Patraswarasam itself is a Vedanaharam. So Vedanandaka Rasam is indicated for Vividha Ashraya Vedana, 2 rati dose. Nidrodaya Rasam, as the name indicates, Sukha Swapna Karam. So Tugakshiri, Rasasindura, and Dhatri Churna is added along with the Ahipena. And every ingredient is taken in equal quantity. And Bhavana is done with Vijaya Patraswarasam, 2 rati dose. Okay. Next one is Sindhura Bhushana Rasam. So it is indicated for Adisara. So Ahipena, Swarna Bhasma, Karpura, Rasasindura, Sukshma Ela Churna, Vamshalojana are the ingredients. Bhavana is a Mustakwada, 2 rati dose. Harshodaya Vadi, the Bhavana is also here also Vijaya Swarasam. 3 Bhavanas are done and 2 Gunja dose, and Harshodaya Vadi, as the term indicates, it is Pramada Madamadini, which is mainly indicated for Vajigarana action. Bala Varnagni Janani, Pidistambhini, Patya, which Patya is also mentioned here. That is Mahisha Kshira, and Masha and Pishtana has to be given to the patients which are undergoing Harshodaya Vadi treatment. Okay, so it is mainly indicated for Vajigarana, aphrodisiac property. And Ahipena Asavam. Ahipena Asavam is a Shuddha Ahipena 3 tola is added with the Mrida Sanjeevini Sura, that is taken in 5 tola quantity. So keep the liquid mixture in a glass bottle for 7 days. And after 7 days, you can administer to a patient 15 drops is the dose. And it is Mahaushadha for a Vedana. Ahipena. And next is the Mangalodaya Vadi. Mangalodaya Vadi ingredients is Ganasara and Ahipena. Water is the Bhavana Dravya. Dose 130 and the indication Pralaba with the proper Anubana, it is Kittatama Aushadha. Vedanandaka Malaharam, it is Siktataila Rayatola, Ahipena Sindhura. That is Kiri Sindhura. This Vedanantaka Malahara is prepared and stored in a glass bottle, and it is mentioned as the term indicates, it is Vedana in a Gudangura. Pain conditions, and Payusta Vidara and Vidara Vedana. So those conditions, you can, anorectal cases, you can apply the Malahara in the prana area. So the third Upavisha is Jayapala. So Jayapala, the English name is Persian cotton, the Latin name Croton tigilium. Croton tigilium. Family is Euphorbiaceae. Bija or seeds are poisonous. These Jayapala are smaller than Dandi Bija, but it is Tivratara Maladara than Dandi Bija. The bija, bija is smaller than the Dandi bija. So, but it is Tivratara Videjana, Malabedana. So, you can see in the right side, you can see the Jayapala, Jayapala seeds. Synonyms, as I already mentioned, it is Rejaga, Saraga, Vibhedana, and Maladragi. Vibhedana is an important synonym of Jayapala, Vibhedana. Chemical constituents glyceryl protonate, forbol formate, forbol butyrate, forbol protonate. So this is the Jayapala seeds. It is having an oval shape. And Shodhana Vidhi, Dolayendra Swedana method is the Shodhana Vidhi. Swedana in Dolayendra. So in all the Vishatrivya, if you observe, you can see that in all the Visha can be purified by Dolayendra Swedana Vidhi, either in Godugdha or Ajadugdha. Okay, so in Jayapala, collect the Nava Jayapala Bija, remove or peel of the external covering of the tuk of the covering or the tuk of the Bija, remove the green colored testa and tie the Bijas in a potally and suspend the potally in the Dola Yandra in which the Godugdha is taken. The Svedana is done for 1 yama and repeat the process for 3 times. Here you have to repeat the process for 3 times. That is the Dola Yandra Svedana method. In Dola Yandra Svedana method, second method, there is 3 Dolayendra Svedana methods. In the second method, while you are preparing the potali, while you are tying the potali, you have to add 1/8 part of Tangana in the potali along with the Jayapala. And you continue the process as a normal Dolayendra Vidhi. Dolayendra Svedana in Gokshira for 2 yama. So that is the second method. And third method, which is done after the Dolayendra Svedana method. So after the Dolayendra Svedana, the Shodhita Jayapala is taken and triturated. So it will become soft. So you have to triturate and apply the kalka in a fresh mud pot. You have to procure the fresh mud pot from the market and you have to, on the bottom, on the periphery, you have to apply the fresh mud coat and you have to keep it in the sunlight. And you can see that the oil comes out of the kalka slowly. And when the oil is completely extracted, you have to scrape out the kalka from the periphery of the or the outer layer of the mud pot and dry it proper. By that time, it will be dried completely. So you have to store it in an airtight container. So the first method, every method is Dolayendra Svedana Vidhi itself, but the second method in the potali you have to add 1/8 part of Kangana, and in third method which is done after the Dolayendra Svedana Vidhi. Okay. A dose is 1/8 to 1/4 Reti. Jayapala contraindication, Gudamaya condition. Since it is Adhirejaga, in Gudamaya condition it has to be avoided. Pravahiga, Shobha, Guda Brahmsha and Baddha Gudodara. So these are the contraindications of a Jayapala. Shodhita Jayapala properties are Parama Virechanagaram, Jalodara Prashamanam, Navajwara Prashamanam, Krimihari, Kushtahara, Vanda Kapaharam, Pitta Jananam, it is Pitta Jananam, and Vandikrit, Vrishiga Vishapranut. Jayapala is used as a Vrishiga Vishapranut, Pradivisha for Vrishiga Visha. And the few formulations I've explained here, that is Icha Bedi Rasam, which is an imported formulation. And the ingredients are Tangana, Marija, Parada, and Gandaga. Shundi Churna, up to Shundi Churna, you have to take the ingredients in 1 tola quantity. And Shuddha Jayapala is 3 tola. Bhavana is done with water and dose 1.5 rati to 2 rati. Anupanam, here you have to be careful while setting the anupanam. That is cold water if you take cold water as Anupanam, it will induce the Virechana. That is the peculiarity of Ichabedi Rasa. Hot water actually stops the Virechana. So until you want the Virechana, up to that time you have to take cold water as Anupanam. And after that, for Shodhana Nivritti, you have to take Ushna Jala. And after Shodhana Nivritti, you have to wait for one yama to take Sheda Jala. If you take Sheda Jala by that time, the Virejana will be induced again. So that is the Ichabedi Rasa. And you have to take the Ichabedi in along with the Sita also. Sita, added with the Sita. Next is Jalodharari Rasa. The ingredients are Tamra Basma, Pippali, Rasagandhaga, that is Kachili, and Nava Shodhita Jayapala. Bhavana is done with Trivrit Pashaya. 3 Bhavanas has to be done. 1 Rati dose, Jalodharari, Jalodhara condition, indicated for Jalodhara. And Jwarari Rasa, indicated for Jwara itself. And Bhavana is done with the Ardharga Swarasa. Ingredients contain Pippali, Shundi, Marija, Vishwapeshaja, Tangana, Shuddha Vatsanabhi also, along with the Jayapala. Okay. Anjana Bhairava Rasa. So in this Shuddha Bharata and Gandhaga, that is Kajali, Kana Pippali, and Tangana and Jayapala is taken. Bhavana is done with the Nimbu Swarasa. Lemon extract, application as Anjana in Sannipadaya Jwar. Vishiga Vishahara Praleba. It is also an entrance solution. Vishiga Vishahara Praleba, which Upavesha is used, that is Jayapala. Jalapishta Shodha Jayapala is applied over the scorpion bite area. Okay, Jalapishta Shodha Jayapala. Shodha Jayapala is treated with water and applied over the scorpion bite region. Okay. So the fourth one is Dattura. Dattura, English name is thorn apple, angel's trumpet, devil's trumpet. You can see the Dattura picture, the thorn flower, thorn seeds, Sakandaga Phala. You can see in the right side of the slide. And the Latin name Dattura beetle or Stramonium, family Solanaceae, Sakandaga Phala. Dattura with the Krishna Pushpa is higher in quality. In the picture, it is white Pushpa. And useful part Patra, Moola, Phala, Bija, Mrududala, everything is used for the formulations. Synonyms Unmattam, Dhurta, Kanaga, Shadha. Kanaga is all important synonym. Kanagasavam and Dhurta. These are all important synonyms. Shadha, Kandaga Phala, Shiva Shekhara. Chemical constituents are tropane alkaloids, hyoscine alkaloid, glycoside, Dattura, methylene, and scopolamine. So these are the chemical constituents of Dattura. Coming to Shodhana, Dattura, the Shodhana Vidhi is Dolayendra Svedana method. Dattura seeds are collected and tied in a pottery, and it is suspended in the cow's milk, and Shodhana is done, or Svedana is done for Panyama in Mandagni. That is the Shodhana method. So Dolayendra Svedana in cow's milk. In Goduda, that is the Shodhana method for Dattura. And dose Bija Churna. If it is Bija Churna, the dose is 1/4 to half rati. If it is Patra Churna, it can be go up to 1/1.5 rati, 1.5 rati. In API, it is mentioned as 100 to 200 mg is the dose of Dattura. 100 to 200 mg. And Shodha Dattura properties Kadu, Ushna, Shosha, Shokhan Vishudana, Primignam, Kushtanashanam, Jwaranashanam, Brahmagrit, and Meha Jananam. Okay. The formulations are Pralapantaka Rasa. The ingredients are Shuddha Dattura Beja, Rasa, that is Kajali, Kadutriga and Tangana. Bhavana is done with Nimbu Swarasa, Deepana, Pajana, and Vanni Madhya Prashamana. Next is Unmada Gajangusharasa. So that is the Ture Bija, Kajali, and Rajata Basmas are taken in an equal quantity, and it is treated with the Kumari Swarasa, Kumari Swarasa. Dose is 1 rati, indication Unmada and Jwara. Unmada Gajangusharasam indicated for Unmada as well as Jwara condition. And Grandi Shofa Nivaraga Varti. That is Datura Phala, Pupilu Bija, Krishna Jiraga, Kumari Ghana, and Mojarasa is taken, and Bhavana is done with Sruhi Patra Swarasa, and dose is Varti of 3 Masha is prepared. Indication is spelling conditions, rub the varti on in spelling or shofa conditions, you have to rub the varti on a hard surface or shila or a hard surface and make a paste, make a leba on the shofa spelling swollen part. 2 to 3 times daily you can apply you can externally apply this then the shofa nivaraga varti. Okay, next one is Vijaya. Vijaya, the English name is Indian hemp. Latin name Cannabis sativa. It is from the family Cannabaceae. Flower is known as that is unpollinated inflorescence is the marijuana or ganja is termed as the flower of the Vijaya is known as um, ganja, and resin is known as hashish or charas. Okay. So you can see the leaves of the Indian hemp or cannabis sativa on the right side of the slide. So this is the Vijaya, cannabis sativa. Pseudonyms Bhanga, Bhang, Madulani, Madini, Madhika, Tantrakarini, Bahuvadini. So chemical constituents, cannabinoids, contain cannabinoids. And Shodhana, coming to Shodhana aspect, 3 methods are explained. That is Grida Bharjana, Dolayendra Swedana, and Bhavana. So first one is Grida Bharjana. So collect the leaves of the Vijaya and soak the Shushka Patra in the water for some time. And when it is completely immersed, completely wet, you have to squeeze the Vijaya Patra leaves and remove the water. And take the leaves, and it is then fried in the ghee. So that is the Grida Bharjana method. Before Grida Bharjana, you have to just wash or soak the Vijaya Patra in the water and squeeze out the water, and you have to take the Vijaya Patra, add it into the iron kadaha in which the Grida is taken, and when it is completely fried, you have to take out the powder, take out the sample, powder it and store it in an airtight container. That is the Grida Bharjana method. Next is this Dolayendra Swedana method. So the Dolayendra Swedana in Babula Tukashaya. So that is the liquid medium which is used in Dolayendra Swedana of Vijaya Shodhana. So in almost all other Shodhanas, you can see that Dolayendra Swedana in cow's milk or goat's milk. God's milk, that is Ajadutta. But in Vijaya, it is different. That is Babula Tokashayam is used in as a liquid medium in Dolayendra. Okay. The duration is half gadi, that is 24 minutes. One gadi is 48 minutes, so half gadi is the duration. Duration is also less. Bhavana method, which is done after the Svedana method, after the Godukta Svedana, after the Babula Tukashaya Svedana in Dolayendra, you have to do the Bhavana method, which is actually indicated for a Kamo Dibanam action. So, Bhavana in Godukta is done for Vijaya. So, this is done after the Svedana procedure. Okay. The formulations are Madanodaya Modaga, Trilokya Vijayavadi, Trilokya Sammohana Rasa. So, dose is 2 to 4 gulja, and Shodhita Vijaya properties Tikta, Leghu, Tikshna, Grahini, and Kavha Haram. And Madanodaya Modaga, you can see that a lot of ingredients are there, but the Modaga, it is Modaga preparation. So for the Modaga preparation, you have to have a Dravadravya. So milk is a Dravadravya. Add the Ela Churna and Sita to the milk, and when it attains the Sharkara Paga, you have to add the powdered ingredients. And you have to make a Modaga out of it. So 3 to 6 Masha is the so 6 grams, up to 6 grams you can administer this Madanodaya Modaga to a patient. So that is why it is Modaga. It is bigger in size. So indication is Madana Uddibana. So it is also used for Vajigarana, aphrodisiac activity. Okay. Trilokya Vijayavadi is ingredients Bhanga Sattva as well as Tugakshiri. That is Vijaya Sattva as Tugakshiri is taken in 1:3 ratio. It is titrated with water and 1 dose what is prepared. It is indicated for Unmada Shamani, Vrikka Shula, Rajas Shula, Atisara and Swapna Meha Shamana. Okay. Trilokya Sammohana Rasa, this is in which the Bhavana is done with the Bhanga Swarasa, Vijayapatra Swarasa itself, and Shataputri Swarasa. And 3 Rati dose, it is the dose which is administered. Trilokya Sammohana Rasa, and it is the Strinam Sammohana Karanam. It is used for the Vajigarana purpose only. So those are the Vijaya aspect. So Vijaya, 3 methods are explained: Grada Bharjana, Vijaya Shodhana, Grada Bharjana, Godugda, Dolayendra Svedana, but not in Godugda, in Babula Tukashaya. And third method is Bhavana method. So these are the 3 methods of Vijaya Shodhana. Next one is Gunja. Gunja, the common name is crab's eye or precatory beans, which are used as a beads in a percussion instruments. And Latin name is Abrus precatoris. Family is Fabaceae. You can see that the seeds are the seeds of Gunja. The seeds are only considered as the Upavisha, though useful parts are Patra Rasa as well as Mula and Bija are used in the formulations. But as far as Upavisha concerned, the seed is only considered as Upavisha. So that is Gunja, Abrus precatoris, crabs or precatory beans. The synonyms are, you can see Rekta, Rektiga and Tamriga. Since the color is Rekta, it is Rektiga. Krishna Chudiga, it is having a black cap-like structure. And Uchchada, Shida Pagi, Billa Bhushaniga, Aruna, Chudamani, Shikhandi, Krishnanala, Kaga Nandi and Kamboja. These are the synonyms of Gunja. And you can see the seeds and both the ripened seeds as well as the Amaphala as well as Pakpaphala, which you can see in the picture. Chemical constituents, glycyrrhizin is the chemical constituents as per API, Ayurvedic Pharmacopoeia of India. Shodhana necessity. Why Shodhana is done for Gunja? So, if it is not, if the Gunja is used without Shodhana, it is Vandi Karagam, Tibra Virejanagat, as well as which shows like a Vishujika Lakshanam. So, you can see in the patient's Vishujika Lakshanams after the administration of Gunja, Ashodhida Gunja. And the Shodhana is Dolayendra Svedana in Godukta. So gunja seeds are tied in a pottery and which is suspended in a milk or kanjiga. Godugda Svedana as well as kanjiga Svedana and Dolayandra. Duration is 2 yama. So Godugda Svedana or kanjiga Svedana and Dolayandra. Dose is 1 to 1.5 gunja. Retti. Chodhita gunja properties are Uristambharam, Balavardhanam, Shofaharam, Vedanaharam Uttamam, Swarabeda Prashamanam and Mutra Gritsra Prashanam. Okay. Some of the formulations are Gunjadya Taila, that is Gunja Bija, Tila Taila and Bringaraja Swarasa as liquid medium. Dravadrevyam, indications Appenga for Kandu, Kushta and Darunaga. Tila Tailam is used as a Snehadravya. Dravadrevya is Bringaraja Swarasam. So it is good for hair. So Darunaga condition you can apply Gunjadya Tailam. Second Gunjadya Tailam, Gunja Bija for Kalka, Gunja Mula for Kalka. And Tila Taila for 4 parts as well as Jala, that is 2 parts. Indications Abhenga for Gandamala. Gandamala conditions you can do the Abhenga. Gunjadya Taila, second Gunjadya Taila. Gunja Jeevana Rasam, that is Gunja Bija 1.5 tola, Rasindura 1.5 tola, Vijaya, that is Cannabis Sativa 3 tola. Bhavana with water and dose is given in 2 gunja. Those indication Balajanana, Madano Divana. Okay. Gunja Bhadra Rasam is an important formulation. Bhavana is done with the Kagamaji Swarasa, Jaya Swarasa and Nimbu Swarasa. And ingredients Gunja Bija, Jayandi, Nimba Bija, Parada and Gandaga. That is Kajali. And indications 2 gunja and it is mentioned for Purustamba. So that is Gunja. That is all about Gunja. It is purified by Kodukta Svedana or Kanjiga Svedana and Holayandra. Next is Balladaga. Balladaga, the common name or English name is marking nut, and Latin name is Semicarpus anacardium lin. And Anacardiaceae family, and useful part is fruit, and the fruit is having a 2.5 centimeter or 25 long length. And synonyms are Tapano, Arushkara, Agnika, Krimikna, and Vatari. Vatari, Krimikna, Agnika, and Tapana. Tabana, since it is most Tikshna among Upavishasa. So that is marking that. Balladaga, there is a Grahi Lakshanas for Balladaga, that is Pakwa Phala should be used, and Needi Shiptani Nimanjadi, that is which is when it is put in water, it sinks in water. So that is the Lakshana for a Balladaga, a good Balladaga, the good ripened Balladaga, Pakwa Balladaga. And chemical constituents are, it contains a tarry oil which contains anacardic acid. So that is a non-volatile and alcohol cardol is also present in the Balladaga. And this tarry oil actually makes the allergic response in the skin. So why it is Shodhana? It is necessary in the Balladaga. So Bija Taila, when it comes in contact with skin, causes Dharuna, Daha and Brana. So ulcer, it immediately after when it comes in contact with the skin, you can see the ulcers in the on the skin. And when it comes in mouth, when it comes in contact with mouth, it causes Ghora Visarpa also. And Shodhana, there are three methods of Shodhana as mentioned. Gharshana, Dolayendra Svedana and Bharjana, in which Gharshana is the most practically used method. Gharshana, Dolayendra Svedana and Bharjana. Gharshana is the most practically used. Gharshana in Ishtiga Churna. So the fruits are weighed and randomly made into pieces and then taken in a gunny bag. And in the gunny bag, you have to add Ishtiga Churna also. So you have to prepare the Ishtiga Churna by breaking the Ishtiga. The coarse powder is prepared, and this Ishtiga Churna is added into the gunny bag, and the pottle is prepared, and you have to rub with the hands or foot also you can use, and in a medium pressure. And the procedure was repeated again by adding more Ishtiga Churna. And finally, the Balladaga fruits are collected and washed in hot water. So during the procedure, you can see that the Ishtiga Churna, which is a bright red color, will turn to brown color. That is because of the oil which is oozed out of the Balladaga during the churning process, during the Mardana process. So as much as the Ishtiga Churna absorbs the oil, that much color variation can be observed in the Ishtiga Churna. Okay, so the precautions you know that this causes immediate allergic reactions in the skin. So the coconut oil should be applied on the hands and face before the procedure, and wear gloves, full gloves and mask. And at the end of the procedure, the fruits were carefully removed and washed with hot water. Okay, Siddhi Lakshanas. So how will you find out that is the Gharshana is enough? So the brick powder absorbs the oil, and the brick powder turns to grayish, brownish black color, and the epicarp of the fruit separates from it. So the Balladaga becomes soft, and the epicarp will separated out of the fruit. Okay, these are the Siddhi Lakshanas. And next, that is the Gharshana method. Next is the Dolayendra Vidhi in Narige Lambu. That is here also the liquid medium is different. The Dolayendra Svedana is done for Balladaga in Narige, like coconut water. So the process is done for 1 yama, that is 3 hours. Arjuna method, which is I found it in an article, that is the Balladaga were collected, and an iron pan is kept on the fire source, and the Balladaga is put into the iron pan, and after 5 minutes of heating, the smoke starts to come out of the Balladaga. Since the smoke actually causes some discomfort, it is not actually practically done in here. Here we use the Ishtiga Churna Garshana method. So the burning charcoal was put on the pan containing balladaga nuts, and after 2 minutes the fire was extinguished. So you have to take up out the pan, and you have to spread the sample on the ground itself. And after, when it is cooled, when it is completely cooled off, you have to collect the sample and wash it with hot water. So that is a Bharjana method. Bharjana method, not Swayana, Bharjana method. Okay. So the dose is 1 to 3 rati. According to API, it is 1 to 2 grams of drug in Ksheerabaga form. 1 to 2 grams of drug in Ksheerabaga form you can administer to a patient. And the properties of Shodhita Balladaga is Kadutikta, Atyushna, Kriminashana, Rasayana, Balakara, Ulma Arsha Grahanihara, Pushta Amayanashana, Kabhavada Udarabham, Vibanda Atmana Shulagnam, Shwasadi Gada Nashanam. Okay. Next is next Amega Prayoga. Here is there is an Amega Prayoga in Dasatarangani, that is the Balladaka Churna is mixed with the Tila, equal quantities of Tila, Guda and Hari Dahi, and it is administered, internally administered to Pliha, Pandu, Jwara conditions, and also Shwasagasa condition. So it is a modaga. You can prepare a modaga, small modagas of 1 to 2 rati. You have to take care while deciding the dose of the Balladaga Churna here. And Balladaga Rasayana is mentioned for Rekta Vruddhim Karodi, which is mentioned for Pandu condition. Shundi, Vidanga Churna, Loha Basma, Balladaga Churna, and Madhu and Sarpi. So it is taken as a Lehana. It's bit. Okay. The eighth Upavisha is Karavira. Karavira, the English name is roseberry or oleander, and Latin name Nerium indicum and Nerium oleander. Apocyne is a family. Mula is only considered as Upavisha here. And it is most of the time it is mentioned for external application only. So you can see the root, Karavira root in the right side of the slide. There are several types based on the color of the flower. So, Shweta Pushpa, Rekta Pushpa, and Pita Pushpa. Chemical composition: Nerizorin, scopoline, carabin, oleagreganin, oleadrin. Okay. Synonyms: since it can cause death of an ashwa horse, it is the synonyms are related to that aspect. That is Hayari, Hayamaro, Ashwamaraga, Ashwantaga, Ashwaha, Ashwagnam, and Chandataga. So these are the synonyms of Karavira. Shodhana. Shodhana is Dolayendra Svedana Vidhi, but in Rasadarangani there is no Shodhana process mentioned. It is a Rasamitra reference, Shodhana Vidhi. As it is externally applied, in Rasadarangani, Acharya have not explained the Shodhana as a procedure for Karavira. It is directly the formulations. He has jumped into the formulations. But in Rasamitra, we can see that Dolayendra Svedana Vidhi is explained for Karavira. So, Godugdat Svedana is done for Karavira for 1 yama. Okay. And therapeutic applications in Rasadarangani, we can see that the root is titrated with the water and applied externally in Ubadamsha Vrana, that is syphilitic ulcers. And leafy extract. So, though it is not considered under Upavisha, leafy extract can be instilled into eyes and in the Abhishanda as well as Jalasrava conditions. And Karaviradim Thailam is prepared with Tiradaila and Vidanga Kalka and Gomutra as Dravadravya. And Tukdaha conditions, it can be applied externally. Okay, so these are the therapeutical applications of Karavira. And Godugda Svedana in Dolayendra is explained in Rasamitra. In Rasadarangani, there is no Shodhana procedure. As it is explained for external application, no dose is also mentioned in Rasadarangani. And coming to the next Upavisha, that is Langali. Langali, brief description is a glory lily, wolfbane. Latin name is Gloriosa superba. Family is Colchicaceae, family, and the root or tuberous root is considered as a Upavisha. So you can see the tuberous root of Langali, Gloriosa superba on the right side. It is Swarna Kusamam. You can also see the flower of the Langali. indicated for external application. Okay. Synonyms: Halini, Siti, Vishalya, Kalihatika, Agnijihva, Swarna Pushpa, Deepta, Natyendu Pushpiga, Vidyujwala, Vannishika, Garbhapadini. So Shodhana is Gomutra Stabhana method is explained, indicated for Langali. So it is in Rasatharangani, there is no Shodhana process is mentioned, but in Kriya Kaumudi, which was written by V.M. Kutti Krishna Menon, we can see the references Gomutra Stabhana Vidhi is adopted for Langali Kula Shodhana, Chubaras root Shodhana. So, soak the Langali in Gomutra for 1 day. That is the procedure. So, Langali Mutra, Langali Kanda is taken in Gomutra and it is immersed in Gomutra for 1 day. Then it is again taken and it is again dipped in or immersed in a decoction of Amrita and Tanduliga Mula for 30 Nariga, that is 30 into 24 minutes. And then again in Godukta, Stabhana is done for 1 day. So that is, so simple procedure is Gomutra Stabhana in for 1 day. That is the simple procedure. But after the Gomutra Stabhana, you can also go for further purification in Amrita as well as Tanduliga Mula decoction, and again for Godukta Stabhana for 1 day. Okay. Therapeutical applications in Sadhya Prasava, Jalapishta, that is water, the Langali Mula, which is triturated in water, is applied on the umbilical as well as the yoni region. And if it is applied in Kara and Pada, it is Apara Padini. These are not applied, therapeutically applied nowadays. And in Krimi Karna, you can actually instill the rasa of Mula. The Langali Mula Swarasa can be instilled in the ear, and Suryavarta Swarasa as well as Trigadu, as along with the Langali Mula Drava is instilled in the Krimi Karna condition. And show the Langali properties, it is Kadu, Ushna, Kabha, Vada, Haram, Saram, Apara Padini, and Satya Prasava Karani, Shobha Paha, Vranak Nivarani, Kushta Krimi. Next is Arkakshira, that is Calotropis procera, and it is commonly known as apple of Sodom, Calotropy, and family is Apocynaceae. Chemical constituent is milky sap contains a steroidal heart poison known as cardiac aglycons. So, milky sap contains steroidal heart poison. Okay. Synonyms: Arkakshira, which is every Surya synonyms can be applied. Revi Kshira, Revi Dugdha, Surya Kshira, Surya Dugdha. And Shodhana is in Arogya Kalpadrumam. Usually Arkakshira is not purified according to Rasarangani. Since it is already in a purified condition, it is not purified, used. It is not purified again. So, but in Kaikulangara Rama Warrior, that is an Kerala author. In Aragya Kalpadramam, he has explained a Shodhana procedure for Arkakshira also. So, the Shodhana process is actually very simple. The tila seeds are fried in ghee and put into the Arkakshira sample. That is one method. And the second method is any two of the Ela, Marija, Nagahu and Pipali. Any 2 or 3 of these ingredients can be fried and put into the Arkakshira. So these are the 2 methods which are explained by Kaikulangara Ramavarya. Okay, so tila seeds are fried and put into the Arkakshira. Likewise, Ela, Marija, Nagahu and Pipali, any 2 or 3 of the combined can be fried and put into the Arkakshira. So that is the purificatory method for Arkakshira. Rastarangani is not mentioned, the purificatory process for Arkakshira. And usually Arkakshira is pure by itself, so there is no need of purification. It is explained by Rastarangani. And you can also adopt the Suhikshira Shodhana Vidhi, which is explained by Rastarangani. That is Chinja Swarasa Stabhana. Can be applied here also. And show the Arkakshira properties: Snigdha, Tishna, Ushna, Pushta Gulmahara, Rejna, Vandikaram, Primidanda Vyadabaha, Twakleba. When it is applied on the skin, it is Kshara Karmagaram. Krimidanda Shula condition. In Krimidanda Shula, you can actually dip the cotton pieces in the equal parts of Arpakshira as well as honey and placed on the affected area. So that is Krimidanda condition, external application. And Mughakshada, in stomatitis condition, you can actually mix the Arkakshira, one part of Arkakshira with the 3 part of honey, and you can apply internally on the mucosa of the buccal mucosa. And in Arshas, you can mix the Arkakshira, Haridra Churna, Shirisha Bija Churna and applied over the affected part in chronic pile masses. So, as it is mentioned in Tuk Lebana, by applying externally on the Tuk, it is Kshara Karmakaram. So, it is to remove the bile mass also slowly. In a long duration, you can apply externally, Arkakshira. Okay. Next is the last Upavisha is Snuhikshira, Euphorbia nerifolia, common milk hedge, and the family is Euphorbiaceae. The right side you can see the Snuki plant. Synonyms Sudhakshira, Sehundakshira, Snubguda. Shodhana, Shinja, Swarasa, Stabana. The method is Snuhi latex or Kshira is mixed with the tamarind indica leaf juice, that is Chinja Patra Swarasa. Chinja Patra Swarasa. The ratio of Snuhikshira is to Chinja Patra Swarasa is 4:1. Snuhikshira is taken 4 part, then the Chinja the leaf Swarasa is 1 part. Mix the mixture should be kept under sunlight in a Raudra or a Raudra Yandra or a sauce. When it is dried completely, you have to store it in an airtight container. So that is the Chinja Swarasa Stabana method of Snuhikshira. This method can be applied for the Arkakshira also. It is basically explained for external application, Pralebana and Gudangura, Snuhikshira. You know the importance of Snuhikshira in the Kshara Sutra preparation. And Nisha Churna, Koshatagi Churna, Saindhava, those are mixed together and it is applied in the Gudangura. External application with the Gomutra as a liquid medium. And Shodhita Snuhikshira properties are Vatahara, Gulma Udara Vinashanam, Vishaharam, Atmanaharam, Udanguraharam Param, and internal administration, when it is administered internally, it is Parama Virejanagaram. And it is also reported to have ocular injury also, Akshi Pushpagrat Param. So it may cause the visual disturbances also. So, Shodhita Snuhikshira properties. If it is not purified properly, it can cause ocular injuries. Okay, so there ends the class of Visha and Upavisha. So 11 kinds of Upavisha as well as the one Mahavisha, that is Vasanavi is covered, and you have to learn the major areas, that is if it is having any types. In as far as Vasanavi is concerned, it is Krishna, Kabisha and Pandu. Krishnabha, Kabisha and Pandu, those are the important classifications. So when it is so those classification you should know, and Shodhana, you should know the Shodhana as well as the dose. So those are the things you should know about all the Visha and Upavisha. Okay, so there ends the Visha Upavisha chapter. So now we are going to learn about Sudha Varga Dravya. So the next, so in this chapter, we will cover the introductory, basic introduction of Sudha Varga Dravya, enumeration of Sudha Varga Dravya, and we will go into deep into each and every Sudha Varga Dravya. So in those details that we will be having chemical composition, we will learn about chemical composition of each Sudha Varga Dravya, synonyms, Shodhana and Marana of each Sudha Varga Dravya, and dose and relevant formulations. So these are the coming to the introductory part of Sudha Varga Dravya. So as we know, in Rasa Shastra, we have learned about every other, like Maharasa, Uparasa, Sadhana Rasa, etc. Their therapeutic applications, their applications in the alchemy also, and we have studied different kinds of processes done to those metals or minerals. So likewise, Sudha Varga is a group of drugs which predominantly contain calcium as a component in them. So in Nirukti basis, Sudha means nectar, that is Amrita or nectar. So in this aspect, in this context, we assume that the term Sudha Varga comes from the fact that Sudha is the first drug which is explained in the Sudha Vijnaniyam Adhyayam. Sudha Varga Drivyas explained by Yadavji Trigamji in Rasamrita in this text. So in the coming to the classical references, we cannot see the classification like Sudha Varga Drivya in any of the classical textbooks like Rasratna Samchaya, Rastarangani. They were not mentioned Sudha Varga Drivya as a separate classification like Maharasa, Uparasa, etc. But later in the 90s, 1959, 1962 period, Yadavji Trigamji wrote the Rasamrita text, and in that textbook, he has mentioned or enumerated a separate chapter for Sudha Varga Drivyas. The chapter's name was Sudha Vijnaniyam Adhyayam. From that onwards, the calcium containing compounds were put into a group that is known as Sudha Varga Drivya. Even it is even the literal name, literal meaning, that is Amrita, can be coined or correlated to the calcium needs of the human. Like in physiology also, calcium plays an important role. Like in the case of muscle actions or the physiology related to bone strength or muscle activities, muscle movements, and especially in the physiology related to cardiology, the cardiac physiology, and the secretion, the regulation of the secretions of the gastrointestinal secretions. So those are controlled by the calcium need of the human. So in that sense, we can accept the Sudha as a nectar, which is needed for the human physiology. Okay, so though we cannot see Sudha Varga Drivya as a classification, as a group in the textbooks, we can see bits of Sudha Varga Drivyas in the Samhitas. Like in Charaka Samhita and Sushruta Samhita, we can see Sudha, the limestone, in the Parthiva Drivyas. And when the Paribhasha Adhyaya, there are when Aushadha Drivya, different kinds of Drivya Vargas are explained in Paribhasha Adhyaya. So in that one, based on the color of the drugs included in the group, it is divided into different kinds of classification. That is Shukla Varga, Rekta Varga, Krishna Varga Drivyas explained in that aspect. So among that, Shukla Varga Drivya, that is Drivya which is having white color. That can be compared to Sudha Varga Drivya. That can be compared to Sudha Varga Drivya. Like in Rasarnava and Rasaratnagara, in Rasarnava, Shukla Varga Sudha Kurma Shanga Shukti Varadiga, and Rasaratnagara, Churnam or Chunnam Kurma Shanga Shukti Varadhi Shukla Vargaga. So, though this Shukla Varga is having 5 drugs in the group, Sudha Varga Drivya as a total, we can combine the calcium containing compounds that we learned in the Ratna Varga, that is Shukti, that is Mukta and Pravala. And in Sadharan Rasa, we have Varadika. So when we combine all these, we get 14 to 15 drugs in Sudha Varga Drivya. Okay, so though Sudha Varga Drivya is not mentioned in classical textbooks, Shukla Varga Drivyas can be correlated to Sudha Varga, and Yadavji Trigamji mentioned Sudha Varga Drivya as a separate chapter. So this is the summary of Sudha Varga Drivya. So in this, I will not be teaching Kabarda, Pravala and Mukta, since it is already covered in the previous classes. Okay, so we will go deep into each and every Sudha Varga Drivyas. So first Drivya is Sudha. That is chemical composition is calcium oxide. Specifically, no Shodhana and Marana. And in the as I explained earlier, chemical composition, Shodhana, Marana, and Dosa. These are the 4 things that you need to know about these Sudhavargatri gas. The form and especially the therapeutical applications also Amega Prayoga, which is explained in the Rasa Tarangani, which is not included in this slides. So you have to go and refer the Rasa Tarangani for the Amega Prayoga. So a lot of useful Amega Prayogas are that can be practically practiced in the clinical, in the day-to-day clinic, in the clinical practice of, you can use it. That will be really useful. So go and read the Amega Prayoga of Rasatarangani, each and every Sudhavargatrikas. Okay, so chemical constituents, Shodhana, Marana, and dose. The four things you need to know. So in Sudha, there is no Shodhana and Marana specifically mentioned. The internal administration is only done in a form of Churnodaka. So coming to synonyms of Churna is Churna, Churnaga, Sudha, Saudha Vileban, and Shila Shadam. And coming to Churnodaka preparation. So, Sudha Churna is only mentioned as a Churnodaka. When it is for the processing of other drugs, also it is used as a Churnodaka method. That is, when it is used for the purification of Haritala, it is Churnodaka. So, Svinnam Kushmanda Toeva, Tilakshara Jaleviva, Toeva, Churna Samyukte, Dola Yendrana, Shuchide. So, Churnodaka is used for the Haritala Shodhana, and in Chitraka Shodhana also Churnodaka is used. So Churnodaka is the practically used form of Sudha. And ingredients, as the term indicates, it contains two ingredients, that is Churna and Udaka. So Churna, that is Sudha, Churna is 2 reti, and water is taken in 5 tola quantity. Rekti Dvayonmidam Churnam Panja Tolaga Samvidam. So the procedure is the Sudha Churna is taken in a vessel and added with 60 ml of water, mixed thoroughly and left for 9 hours, that is 3 yamam. Triyamam Tabaye Tadaha. Later, the supernatant water is taken out and